let's rap a little more about advanced English conversation, but not before we roll that intro. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what part of this big wide world of ours you happen to be in right now. I'm Julian Northbrook, and this is Doing English. This video is somewhat of a continuation of yesterday's video, and indeed I'm actually going to take one of the points that I discussed in yesterday's video, check it here if you missed it, and go a little bit deeper into it. Partly because I feel it warrants more depth than what I gave it in that video, because I had a lot to talk about in that video and I talked about it quite quickly. But also partly because I don't want people to misunderstand what I said yesterday, and I want to clarify a couple of points. If you want to be advanced when you speak English, if you want to have advanced English conversation or have English conversations at an advanced level, however you want to say it, simply learning advanced English isn't gonna do it for you. This is not to say that learning new words, new phrases, new expressions, difficult, not so commonly used words or what have you, little interesting snippets of language, phrases, expressions, slang, idioms, chunks, whatever. This is not to say that learning more stuff is a bad thing. Hell no, it's a good thing. It's always a good thing. And you should always be aiming to learn more and more and more and more and more. Always learning new, but also paying attention to the old as well. The point that I wanted to make in yesterday's video, and what I really want to make in today's video, is that learning new stuff is great, but you have to repeat the old stuff too. Not only that, but learning difficult, advanced language, difficult words, phrases and expressions that people have never heard of before, hard grammar, or I don't know, however you want to put it. Learning those things is fine, but don't think that that is enough, because it's not. Rather, what is most important is not learning more advanced stuff, but having an advanced command of the basic fundamentals of language. Being able to take that basic, simple, easy to understand language and execute your English. Speak in clever ways, in advanced ways. That is, you can take the phrases and expressions and the words and the language that you've already got and use them in conversation at a very high level. If you can do this, you will be very powerful in conversation and you will have very effective conversations. But knowing a lot of difficult words and difficult rules and hard stuff, and then kind of just bodging that together when you speak in a way that is really disfluent and badly structured and not clear or concise or even interesting at all, isn't going to make you seem like an advanced speaker. It's just going to make you seem like somebody who's memorized a lot of crap and doesn't actually know how to use that crap well. Perfect example of this. I once had a student right back in the day. We're going back years and years and years and years here. And he was a very, very clever guy. He had a perfect score on the TOEIC test. That is hard. Most native speakers can't get a perfect score on the TOEIC test, which says a lot about it, but hey, whatever. He had a perfect score on the TOEIC test. He'd graduated from one of the top universities in Japan. He was a very, very clever guy. He knew words that I couldn't even fathom the meaning of. He would take these difficult words that he knew and he would put them together in insanely long, complex grammatical structures to explain the simplest and most basic of things. And although he knew the meaning of all this stuff that he had in his head, the way that he put it together was so convoluted that you really couldn't actually understand a word of what he wanted to say. And again, when it came down to it, most of the time the things that he was actually saying weren't even that complex. They were actually quite simple, basic, everyday things. But he'd focused first and foremost on these big, complicated words. And that is how he spoke. I mean, to say something simple and something basic like, wow, it's raining today, he would come out with something like, we're seeing unfavourable atmospheric conditions and severe levels of precipitation today. What? Come again? And that is how he structured and put together every single sentence that he used. And this is a really, really extreme case, I know. But a lot of people fall into this trap, into believing that in order to sound sophisticated, in order to sound clever, this is how you've got to speak. You've got to use these difficult words, these difficult constructions. And that really, really isn't the case. It actually just makes you sound kind of odd. Again, what is important is not that you have a basic command of advanced English, but that you have an advanced command of basic English first and foremost. And once you've got that solid command of the fundamentals, then you can start to play around with that and you can start to add difficult words and difficult phrases and difficult expressions to it in order to play with the language, to have fun with it. For example, you can go from, wow, it's raining, to, wow, that's some precipitation I can see out there. You see how that works? You've got to get the base right first. It's like building a house. You know, what you're really excited about is the tiles you're going to use on the roof and what colour you're going to paint the walls and the fancy trimmings that you're going to put around your windows and, you know, what kind of wood your door's made out of and things like that. That stuff's all well and good though, but if you just skip, you know, the foundation of the house, you put a shitty foundation in there and you bang the rest of the house up so you can skip straight to the trimmings, well, it doesn't matter how good your house looks, because as soon as the wind blows, the whole thing is just going to collapse in on itself. And this is exactly the same for you and your English. You don't want your English collapsing in on itself with the slightest puff of wind, because you've skipped that foundation of the fundamentals in order to just stick the trimmings on there. Now, this is what we are going to be covering in Smalltalk Superhero, Mastering the Art of Advanced English Conversation, live in London on June the 9th. We are going to go deep into conversational technique, how native speakers speak in conversation in these clever ways. We're going to start looking at these advanced conversational techniques that you can then use with the language that you've got to get this very strong foundation, and then we can start looking at how you can start adding the trimmings to that to make it all cool and all fancy. And you can go out there, have your conversations, sound interesting, be interesting, and dare I say, have a lot more fun speaking English at the same time. Again, it's going to be live in London, June 9th, 1 p.m. until 3:30. People who come along are going to get a manual for the day and then to take home with them. That manual is going to have all the notes from everything I talk about, as well as examples of language and samples of dialogues and conversations, and basically as much as I can cram into it. You're also going to get a complete recording of the event to, well, take home with you once it's edited. Anyway, you'll get it, as well as a 30-minute follow-up call with me on Skype. At the time of recording, which I will admit is a couple of days before I'll be publishing this, there are 3 places left, and if you want to grab one, head over to smalltalksuperhero.com or click on the link in the description. Got a question about English conversation, whether basic or advanced or otherwise? Ask in the comments and I will do my best to cover as many of them as I can in a future video. That then is it from me, Julian Northbrook, signing off from another video. If you found this useful, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. If you thought it was crap, God knows why you watched all the way to the end, but go ahead and hit that thumbs down button now. If you're new to this channel, subscribe, and regardless, I will see you same time, same place tomorrow. Goodbye. If you missed yesterday's video where I gave you 5 tips for more advanced English conversation, you can and should check that video here. And if you want more information about Smalltalk Superhero or to register, just click on the button here.